All right, welcome to another Futures Initiative Trading Recap. Tonight we have a special guest, Girthquake, and as usual, we have Dubster. So today was an interesting day. We had some news come out. Actually, the news is there is no news today. So it was the first time this week where we have not had news. So fantastic there, but we're going to go over our trades today, what we did well, what we can work on, and what we have improved on. So, Dubster, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. Take it away.
Awesome sauce. All right. So just first of all, to start off, I actually did not trade on my main accounts today. Reason why is because I actually been struggling with the fact that this whole week it's been nothing but news, right? And we also have non-farm payrolls coming out tomorrow. And there's something that has been stuck in my head where I'm so close to passing this one. I've been trading on that account. I take a loss. I took a loss on Monday. I went ahead and trade on Tuesday. I got it back to where it's supposed to be. Took another loss yesterday when I traded on it, and then today I didn't even bother touching it. So it just at the point where I'm stuck inside my head, and everything's just getting to me. So I figured I'll take a break from it today. I'm most likely gonna take a break from it tomorrow, and I'm just gonna continue on that account on Monday. But talk about is the trade that we had yesterday. So I'll go ahead and show you guys the setup I did yesterday. We were talking about how our entry points from the healthy order block the day before. When the healthy order block on the first part is not hit, there's a lot of buy side liquidity in this specific section. So we never play from this specific section here. So one thing I did do on this specific setup that we took, we noticed that on this specific bounce, there's a healthy order block here due to this fair value gap on this specific section. And we extended it out from the 1 hour, right? Let's go ahead and eliminate this. But as you guys can see, that when we enter this trade, it actually came up, went against us for a bit, but something very interesting happened when I entered these trades. I was actually not in my PC. I went ahead and I entered on the wrong account. At the same time, not only did I enter on the wrong account, I also entered with minis. So as you guys know, that my strategy for this is as soon as it enters this specific wick, I enter with 2 micros. I enter with 2 more micros. And as soon as it hits a 0.5, I go ahead and enter my full position. So I enter 8 micros at the end. So I do end up with a full mini at the very end, but I always enter the full mini of the remaining 8 contracts at the 0.5. One thing I did do yesterday was that I entered 2 minis here. I never noticed. I entered 2 more minis here. And then by that time I noticed, it was deep inside here, and I was down about, I think it was about $800, $1,000. And I was trying to figure out why I was down so much. And that's how I ended up knowing that it was my minis. So instead of averaging down the way I normally do, I never averaged down. So it got to the point where I was just panicking. I entered the account that I was already passed for the week. And instead of passing it, I drew out, ended up holding. I was stressing about it the whole time. I was talking to Quantastic and messages to seeing whether if I should average down. But my problem here was that I was scared that if I averaged down, it did go against me, I would blow up an account that I had already passed. So my goal was to come back to break even. I never got it back to break even. I took profit at negative 300, and I ended up with the trade just going red. In the end, ended up with the trade going red. But as you guys can see, it actually never went against us, or it did go against us, but it actually never wicked us out. Came back, opened the day to the downside, and we had this massive drawdown. Remember, our target for this healthy order block on the 1 hour is always a 2-to-1 ratio. And we did hit the 2-to-1 ratio here. Unfortunately, we never actually hold this trade. So I just want to point out that this would have been a successful trade and we never got to it. So that's just something that I'm bummed out about, but I did wanted to show you guys that this healthy order block for this setup that happened yesterday was very successful. There is one more. We actually never did the recap here 2 days ago. So I want to here because this entry I took it on some micros and boom. So we're currently on the 1 hour frequency for NQ, right? We have a healthy order block here due to this fair value gap here. That's the reason why it's healthy. Same location. We always want to enter at the 0.5 of the GAN box, right? As you guys can see here, on this specific section, we're going to go up to the upside. Same as always, we enter 2 contracts here. As soon as it wicks us in, we enter 2 contracts. So we went ahead, entered here, went green, came back down. We entered 2 more contracts, and then we ended up with 8 more contracts in this position. We always want to target a 2-to-1 ratio. And we're about this area right here. And as you guys can see, this healthy order block was also successfully. So 2 trades, very successful. The next goal from now on is that I actually took out full profits here, and I did not get to hold the full position. So I think from now on, I want to go ahead and leave one runner exactly at break even and let it be. Maybe if I have to go to sleep on it, I'll go to sleep on it. But other than that, from now on, I will hold 1 micro and I will hold it at break even. If it comes back down, stops us out, then oh well. But if it doesn't, let's hope to see this on the recap next time.
Very nice. Very nice. So, I'm glad you stuck to your plan. You had it. You cut it a bit close on that one trade where you really leveraged in with minis. So the thing with leveraging in with minis is that stop loss has got to be very short.
Yes.
Very tight. I used to do this. I used to over leverage, and sometimes I still do. But now, if I know I'm going to leverage into a play, I have to be even more cautious about my entries because that stop loss is not going to be forgiving because it does not take but a simple wick to blow an entire account.
Yeah, very true.
So, but I'm glad you stuck with your plan, even if it meant not taking a trade.
Yeah, definitely. And as you saw, I was blowing up your messages at the time when this happened. Luckily for us, it actually did. This trade actually did come on the positive in a way, but I was definitely freaking out this whole time. I was blowing up his messages, your messages in this case, and I didn't know what to do.
Look, you know what? It's a nerve-wracking situation because, partially you're upset because you're thinking, why am I allowing this account to go to so much drawdown that I just passed?
Yep.
But also, it's stressful because it's like, oh my God, I'm about to lose an account I just passed. So it's a whole slew of emotions, but I'm glad you messaged me and we were able to work it out because it's definitely a stressful situation. But in the end, I'm glad it worked out. Had you blown the account, it's okay. It's a learning experience. There are worse things that could have happened. Imagine if that was your own money.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing I did mention when we were texting is like we gotta trust the play, and that's exactly what we did. I was down, I believe it was $1,800 at the time, obviously because I never averaged down once. Again, after we entered the 0.5, and in the end, I was like, you know what, fuck it. I gotta get back to work. I went back to work and I hope for the best. That's exactly what I did. And I literally sent him a message and I said, we gotta trust the play, And luckily we did trust the play. I could have got out at negative $1,000. I never did. We trusted the play, and on the right side, it actually went our way. Obviously, I never took it on profits the way I was supposed to, but in the end, we went down negative $300 compared to the $1,800 we were at. So I am happy for that.
Yeah, I'd say that's a W.
Yeah, that's definitely a W.
Nice. All right.
Want me to go ahead and throw my screen up?
Absolutely.
Okay. How's that? Is it sharing?
Oh, nice. Yeah, nice and colorful.
Yeah.
We got the Crayola effect.
Oh, yeah. All right. So I've been focusing on trading ES as of late. I just like the way it trades. So I went today focused on ES. Like I was telling Quant, this morning, I didn't really have a bias coming in. I like this range we had here, the AM session. This yellow line, here's the lows, AM high. And honestly, I was working at the bell. I came back and I noticed, we had this big rejection here, pretty close to the highs of the AM range. And we were right here chopping at the lows. And it's kind of like an ugly little counter parallel here. And so I went ahead, and I like to keep it simple. I use these EMA clouds. I use my levels when I'm trading futures, and that's about it. So I noticed we were chopping here at the lows, which to me is a sign of weakness. And I was just waiting, trying to decide where do I enter, because I know I wanted to get short on the break of this low. And so I zoomed in, looking at the 3-minute time frame here. We had 1 wick, 2 wick, and I'm pretty sure I entered right here after this second wick in this red candle. And I entered here because we had the wick, and also over here on the 10-minute time frame, we had some decent momentum down, and we're hitting right off, rejecting off the 10-minute EMA cloud. And so I entered, and I was using the top of this wick as my risk. And we extended down, broke the low. I was aiming right here, this little pivot. That was my target for the downside. And one thing that I've been trying to work on, and I'm a little new to the whole futures, and I just got this funded account, and so maybe, like, my issue lately is I haven't been sticking to my targets. I've been kind of taking profits a little early, so I've been trying to work on that. But again, today I took profits a little early. Like I said, this is my target down here. I sold. Let me zoom in a little bit. Oh, not that much, huh? I think I sold right here in this little candle, this little 2-minute candle. So I didn't quite hold it down to my target. I mean, yeah, it was close. Yeah, I made money, so I'm not upset. But that's just one thing I've been trying to work on is really sticking to my plan, sticking to my targets, my stops. So yeah, pretty simple. That was my first trade of the day. And then after that, I took a step back, didn't want to force anything. And then I actually did take another trade, this time on NQ. Because it was just, I was watching NQ and ES both at the same time, but I just like this setup on NQ a lot better. So this was our AM low that I told Quant earlier, it was like during lunch, that I'll be bullish if we can reclaim this. And we ended up getting this nice pump. Let me just hide these. Nice pump over both my EMA clouds. And so once we broke over the AM low, I wanted to wait for a pullback back into that level to get long. And that's exactly what I did. Let me see. On the 5-minute time frame. Yep. So right here, we broke over. We pulled back. Once I seen this little wick on that 5-minute candle, right off the AM low, and we got the EMA cloud, both on the 5 and the 10. That was enough for me. I was risking just underneath that little flag low right there. And again, I sold it a little early. Honestly, I'm not, I mean, right here, I guess it kind of helped me out because I was targeting this. but I sold it, ended up getting out somewhere in this green candle. It wasn't all the way at the top. It was like about 890-ish. I ended up getting out. Um, just taking some base hits, I guess. I think the reason why it's hard for me to stick to my targets is, like I said, also, maybe I think I'm like just trying to get that cushion, kind of like play it safe in a way, but overall, I should be, trying my best to stick to my target. So that's one thing I've been trying to work on. But overall, pretty happy with the day. Happy with the way I stayed patient, traded my setups when they came to me and, just avoided the junk. So overall, solid day.
Very nice. So this is a strategy that I don't think Dubster has seen in quite some time. But the EMA clouds, I haven't seen those personally in quite some time. Do you by chance know which EMAs those are?
I believe the green one or the top one is the 512.
Yeah.
And then the bottom one, I believe, is the 3050. I can double check that for you. So 1 and 2. Looks like it might be the 9 and the 5. Or no, 8 and
Okay.
the 9. And then be 34 and the 50.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So you got some midterm and very short term.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Very
And
nice.
I when I use these, I haven't been using them for long, honestly, and it's kind of weird because I never used them when I was trading options, but when I got into futures, I was just kind of like trying them out, and I don't know, I found that, futures like they tend to respect them a lot.
Yeah,
So I kind of just went with it, and I like to use them when they line up with levels. That's when I found, you get the best probability, highest probability of it working out in your favor. And I will note when I'm using these, I do give more weight to the higher time frame clouds as well. And when we have some strong momentum, kind of like how we did here on this little afternoon pump we had in the markets today, um, when we had that strong momentum, that's when I'll use the 5-minute EMA clouds for like entry points.
that's really interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely love to learn more about this. Just because, like I said, it does seem to respect it fairly well. So
Yeah, yeah, they do. Especially when there's momentum, they don't do good when it's chopping, but when there's momentum, they definitely tend to be respected, I found.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, simple, just simple. I like to keep it simple.
Look, that's the best. I mean, sometimes you see people's charts and you can't even see the bars because
Right,
so much stuff.
right. No, for sure.
Yeah,
So
you should have seen my charts beforehand.
oh Lord.
They're pretty colorful.
Yeah, I mean the guy had a Crayola sponsorship. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I really appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, no,
So,
my pleasure.
right. So I like to keep my charts fairly simple. I play with a lot of fair value gaps, and I'm able to stay on a smaller time frame while having all my areas for higher time frames plotted out. But we started the day chopping a lot. So we had some nice movement in London, had a great drop all the way from the New York Open at midnight down to around 5:30 in the morning, which, what is that? Almost 100 bars. Yeah, just over 100 bars on NQ. So that would have been a really nice trade for whoever took that. But on the 15-minute, we did see a nice fair value gap that got taken. The consequent encroachment of this fair value gap taken. Now, why is that important? We see it was just a major wick down, but the body never entered the fair value gap. So that is very important. It actually lined up exactly with the breaker candle. So where is that breaker candle? Right over here. This is the breaker candle. It broke to the upside much more than all the other candles. So this was the bullish breaker. Although we did see that current retracement down, we then broke the highs. So taking it back to today during a market open, we saw this retracement back up to test the highs. I was very curious as to why it did not go any further. So I started to continue to look back further and further and further, and I found that it was, again, another breaker candle right over here. Oops. Yeah. Almost to the tick matches where the high of this candle was. Up a wee bit. There we go. So this created a bearish order block because we bounced price and then we broke to the downside. But we came up. My initial thought was to test the highs, although we broke it pre-market. I thought, okay, you know what? We've taken the highs, we've chopped at the lows. What are we gonna do? Right? We had some liquidity down here that I've been wanting to see get taken. It happened at the very end of yesterday. So that was my initial target. I wanted to take puts, didn't catch it. But I swung puts from yesterday. So my 1 day turned into 0 DTE and ended up running almost 300%. But I also went short in futures today. And it was here. I missed this first candle because I wanted to really make sure that what I was seeing was correct. Let me go ahead and draw this out. So I got in on the retracement. We cleared and did not make a fair value gap. So I got in about here. And my target was the liquidity at the bottom. So I got out right down here. It was a really solid trade. It happened very quickly. And truth be told, I don't think I would have held it as long if I was not working at the same time. My ass would have scalped that shit at around 20 bars and said, I'm done, I'm out. But that is something I have been working on, and I've been really diligent about trying to figure out and fix, is being able to hold contracts, even if it is harder for me to, stomach, losing that profit. So once we came down and grabbed the lows, I was gone. I was out. I was out from there because that put my funded account to where I can now take a payout. So once I got my account there, it was time to cut the account off, go back to the SIM account and stay there. Still waiting on the contract from another account that I passed, but once your funded accounts are at where you want to take a payout, leave them.
Yeah.
Okay? It's done for the day. That's it. And to be truthful, this is where I should have stopped. I wish I had, but I got into another trade down here that went against me, and I didn't realize I was on minis, and it ran against me for almost $1,000. So I had the same reaction that Dubster had. Oh shit, my account, my payout. Oh no, not again. We just did this. So, but luckily I did see a play here, caught it down, got enough to come back and profit, make a new high on my account, so I wasn't in additional trailing drawdown, and it was done. It was done. So that was one of my only trades for today on futures. Had another one on options that was great. It was a good call to the upside. Held it, took it this morning. Average. I took it around here because while we were chopping at the lows, I wanted to see this come back all the way up. This was the move I was expecting right here. Unfortunately, we had to liquidate a little bit, but created a lot of liquidity. We came down back down to this 4-hour fair value gap and came to consequent encroachment. So yeah, we went a couple ticks below, but we can also see that aligns perfectly with the breaker candle right up here. So if we are to draw a line from up there, oh wow, up somewhere, you see that gets respected within 2-3 bars. So one contract, you're not losing more than 30-40 bucks. While the upside was tremendous. I mean, if you held it, you had if you held it all the way up, that was almost 200 bars. So around 800 ticks. Ridiculous. If you caught 800 ticks in one day, what would y'all do?
Take the week off.
Mm-hmm. I'd be on a plane to the beach. Like, okay, this has just covered my entire travel. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of futures too. You can really catch some huge moves.
Exactly. And that brings up a great point. I know that all of us started as options traders, but
Yep.
have y'all seen how more precise your entries are now for options?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, it's like when I started trading futures, it's like just forced me to become a better trader.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to play fast and loose with
Yeah, yeah, me too.
options, and I got burned a lot. Don't get me wrong, I still get burned, but it's the accidental ember that comes spewing out of the fireplace, not the my hand is in the fire. And I'm seeing how high the flames can reach. So yeah, I've seen it transform my futures trade or my options trading, and this has done nothing but made my trading tenfold better. But
Uh,
looking to tomorrow, we have non-farm payroll. What
yeah,
does non-farm payroll mean? It means my hands off the trigger.
yep.
Uh, ah,
Wait and see kind of day.
that's exactly right. See, you got it. I'm waiting, and I expect this high to get smashed tomorrow. This daily fair value gap, I expect that to get run straight through. But I also expect this 4-hour fair value gap to get run through. Imagine if we get it in both directions. One is going to get smashed. So I do expect this to act as support, and hopefully we'll have a run through the high up here. I think it's about time we had a large enough retracement, but again, that is my thought on it. What do y'all think? What's y'all's bias for tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you as well. I think I would like to see a push higher through those highs you got there in the chart. And from the looks of the charts now, I mean, I could, it's kind of setting up for it, but then again, when those numbers come out, you never really know what's going to happen.
Absolutely, and anything can happen, but at least we can prepare for where we expect to see the larger pivots. So, Dubster, what are your thoughts?
As of this moment, I expect shorts back to that 4-hour Ferrari gap for a retest. And once we do that retest, go to the downside. And if we do like a stop hunt, I expect upside afterwards. And the reason why I say that is because we currently have a 1-hour healthy order block at the bottom that I currently want to take longs from. And the fact that we took long shorts from the 1-hour healthy order block on top is the reason why I am bearish and then expect a unhunt at the bottom. Now, obviously,
You expect this to get taken right down here,
I
right?
expect that to get run down completely. And
And
you see
then
that healthy order block right there, that fair value gap,
right
that becomes
here.
my healthy order block. Yeah. So I expect that to come to the downside. And the reason why I'm bearish is because obviously if we would follow my strategy, we would still be in this short trade as of right now. You get what I mean?
Right.
So that's my point of view though, based on the strategies that I play with. So that's what I'm looking at.
I like that. I do. So I'm eager to see what happens tomorrow. But now that we have this recorded, we can come back to this and say, hey, this is what happened. Here are our thoughts, and let's see how things turned out. So I'm very excited for tomorrow. I'm not be hedging on my options plays just to be safe. Well, awesome. I appreciate both of y'all for coming tonight. This has been an amazing session. I think we've all learned a lot. We have all, really found what works for us and are constantly improving upon that. Whether it be you have pivot points, your EMA clouds, fair value gaps, healthy order blocks, all of them work, but it really depends on what works for you. What works for me may not work for you, and that is a
100%.
philosophy that we have at the Futures Initiative, that no two people are probably gonna have the same strategy, and even if they do, they're looking at it completely differently.
Mm-hmm.
But I can guarantee all three of us have probably the same targets and similar entries, but we enter in at different times.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It drives me nuts, but I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Until next time, I appreciate it. Thank you both for joining, and we will catch y'all later.